this is part 2 to the video that I put up the other day where I basically say I'm team Johnny Depp, and I go into it a little bit and then I had to stop. Firstly because I didn't really have time to film the video and I had things that I should have been getting on with. Secondly, my battery, actually when I got off the filming it was 3%. I had to quickly put some charge in it. I only charged it for 7 minutes. It went up to 20%, which is crazy. And I don't want to really post super long videos, so I thought I'd do it in a few parts. Now, when was it? Was it yesterday? Was it Saturday night? Anyway, one night, or was it Friday? It was either Friday night or couldn't have been Saturday and it couldn't have been yesterday, so it must have been Friday night. I filmed part 2 and I filmed 23, 4, 5 minutes or something like that. It was really ridiculous and I should have filmed 2 parts, but I can't even remember what I said now. It's Monday night, 8:15. I have a little bit of time and I'm tired, so what better time to do it, because I want to upload it and I think I want it to go up in the morning, because obviously the jury go back in tomorrow. Now whether or not they'll come to a decision or not, who knows. They only did a couple of hours of deliberation on Friday. You know, they need to look over the evidence and all have to say and then decide. But what I loved was Johnny Depp's literally in England, and he played with Jeff Beck last night and they're saying he's going to play tonight. So he'll probably be on a plane afterwards going back to America. I mean, luckily they're 5 hours behind us, so I'm guessing he's going to sleep on the plane, because surely he has to be there, because when the jury comes back surely he needs to be in court to know the result. I mean, I'm presuming it works that way. I mean, it works that way normally. So I think, well, I know I don't know what I said in the last video. Feels like a lifetime ago, but, well, not in the last video I filmed, because I did continue it, but I just rambled on. I couldn't even tell you if, by the way, that's my towel on my head. I couldn't tell you what I said, but I think I said that, the last video, if you've not watched it, feel free to watch it. Also, this is my personal opinion from what I observed, what I know about certain people, and what I've observed, not only from this case, but people's behaviour that I've come across in my life, sociopaths, psychopaths, who for some reason will tell stories and make out things that have happened that haven't happened, and will be so convincing in the lies that they get other people believing them, and potentially and sometimes quite often involved in situations thinking that these stories are true when they're not, and they get them to do the worst stuff for them whilst they churn out these lies. And they're very convincing. They just tell these lies in such a convincing way, and even when they get caught out they just carry on with the lie, not acknowledging the fact that they've been caught out, just like Amber Heard. So from my experience and my opinion, this is just my thoughts on it. Feel free, I don't know why that won't stay on my knee, probably because it's plugged into the charger. Feel free to form your own opinions, agree with me, disagree with me, agree with some of me. You don't have to agree. We're all entitled to our thoughts. So a lot of her stuff, what I did watch, because like I said, it takes a lot to wind me up, but apparently Amber Heard can wind me up in a few minutes. So I kept having to turn it off, because I'm like, how can you sit there and tell these blatant lies? Because they were lies. She's telling these ridiculous stories that, if she was a victim, then yeah, it's not nice these things are happening to you, but her stories are so inconsistent, her reactions are inconsistent, and yeah, people don't always show emotion, or they struggle with emotion, or they don't show emotion the way they're supposed to do, or, you know, some people can talk about bad things that have happened and show absolutely no emotion and just get through it, and some people cry their eyes out when they're trying to talk about it. Everyone's unique in their own way of expressing emotion. But the way she was expressing emotion, in inverted commas, wasn't normal. It was just over the top. It was like she was telling these pre-rehearsed stories, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I've got to cry here, or I've got to look sad," and then she'll suddenly pull these faces at a point in the story where you wouldn't have that kind of emotion, if at all, because the face she was pulling just looked wrong, like she was constipated or something. It was just like, maybe she was, who knows? But the stories just did not add up. She's telling different versions to what she told in the London trial, whatever. It's just, it's crazy. And she would then elaborate on, and like if she got caught out or something, she'd add more to it to dig a bigger hole. And she sat there like acting like she's being convincing and talking to the jury, which you're not meant to do, and like trying to read their, like, what they're thinking, and like trying to like make herself to be this victim. I think she would come across as more genuine if she didn't look at them and she didn't elaborate, and she just told whatever story it was, fake or not. If she just told it, stayed to the script that she's clearly got, and didn't elaborate, didn't go over it too much, didn't pull those faces, and didn't address the jury. But yeah, she was winding me up. I couldn't fully watch much. I just wanted to like be in court and like go, "Oh, you like lying? What's wrong with you? You don't lie like that." Yeah, you know what? He shouldn't have let it carry on, and yeah, it was being abused and stuff. But I don't know. I wasn't there, but it carried on for too long, and I think he's actually acknowledging the fact that this carried on way too long. It got more out of hand because it was letting it carry on, and she clearly realised that he was pulling away or trying to pull away, and she got more and more caught up in it and trying to keep him and trying to make him feel like he had to stay, that he couldn't leave, that she needed him or whatever it was. And he probably felt compelled to stay because she was like, if you leave, I'll kill myself. And it's just, I don't know. I've literally got no words because, you know, you're not there, you're not in the situation. Even if people were there with them all the time, they can't say why he stayed, or why he didn't get rid of her, or why he let it carry on, or why he let her do these things. Like, he probably can't say. So, what gets me, sorry, I'm getting heavily distracted here. I need to, like, get back to where I was. Like, I'm just watching things. Well, I can see something, I'm like, watching it, not the TV. I had something in my head that I wanted to say. I can't remember what it was, but the when she they did the initial thing where they get interviewed before court. I think it was before the first court thing. She got asked a question like, has it ever been physical, like the abuse? And she's like, no, absolutely not. So she said it, and it's in a video, and I've seen the video, and she's like, no, it wasn't like, he wasn't doing anything to me physically. And I'm like, you stood up in court and said he was physically and sexually abusive towards you, yet you've said in this video, whenever it was, that kind of thing wasn't happening. So it doesn't add up. And I don't know if that it was even used in this court case, that video. It might have been. I mean, as I said, I didn't watch a terrible amount of it. I just couldn't, even if I had the time to sit there all day watching it, and remember they're 5 hours behind us, so it starts in the afternoon here. If I could sit there all afternoon and early evening, even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. I think I'd probably be bored. I don't know how they sat there for all those weeks going through it, but they did. But I don't know. I just don't know how she could tell one story and then just do this complete opposite exaggerated story that gets more and more exaggerated as she gets called out on lies, and then she's just like ignoring the fact she's being basically called a liar and saying like, you said this in the past and now you're saying this, and now she's telling like even bigger stories, and it just doesn't add up. Like, you wouldn't just say these things are happening, you would indicate they'd happened in the past. Even if you couldn't come out and say, oh, this thing happened, you would hint that there was more to it than what you was like telling people. So it just didn't add up. I didn't like her attitude. She had this big attitude, and I remember when I was watching it originally, when I first started watching bits of it, and the camera's on her, and the faces she was pulling, like, why was she pulling those faces? Like, she had that constant bored look on her face. She would laugh at inappropriate points. She was smirking. Know someone who likes to smirk. And I don't know, it just wasn't genuine. She came across as a bit of a you know what. And it's like, Johnny's on the stand and she's pulling these faces. Yet when she was on the stand, he just was colouring stuff in, and like, if he heard something, I remember she was describing something and he raised his eyebrows, like he was like shocked by it. But yeah, and when they were doing the rebuttal, and she was like smirking at some of the things he was saying, and she did get called out for it. But even if what she was saying was true, the way she was acting, like away from it all, like when she was just like sat there listening, her actions and the way she was acting do not make up to the point that she's a victim. If she was a victim, even if she was amused by all the stuff what he was saying or whatever, you wouldn't sit there smirking, you wouldn't sit there pulling your face or laughing or making jokes about it. You would just sit there, and if, you know, this man upsets you the way he apparently upsets you, you wouldn't even be able to look at him. You'd just do what he was doing and just like write or draw. But she was just constantly staring at him, and then she's like, I'm scared of him. If you were that scared of him, you wouldn't just stare at him constantly, smirk at him, make jokes about him, or any of that. You just wouldn't do it. Her behaviour off the stand was weird, contradictory to what she was saying, and just downright ignorant. So I hope the jury actually saw the way she was acting. I know she was at the opposite side of the court, but I hope they saw what she was doing and how she was acting, because it was wrong. It wasn't right. She should have more respect, but she clearly has no respect for anyone. And when Camille said, like, when they had witnesses, like, all these people went to Georgia for, was it Georgia? Am I thinking the right place? Wherever it is. Like, she was like, all these people come here for Johnny, but only one person came here for Amber, and that was a sister who clearly, and that's another thing, she's quite clearly bullying her sister. Her sister is doing everything she can to please her, to keep her happy, to help her out. She looks miserable as anything, and I think Amber pushes her sister around and controls her, and is like, if you don't do this, this will happen and this will happen. So there was something about her when she was giving her testimony, and I didn't watch all of it, but there was something where you could tell she was uncomfortable. She didn't really want to be there, and you could tell she was being controlled and told what to say in court. But when Camille said that the only person that went there was her, and all her other witnesses are paid for experts, that spoke volumes. And then, of course, like, before, like, she said that, because obviously that was the cause of speech, like, Amber was saying that Johnny Depp gets what he wants because he's Johnny Depp. Yeah, that's probably true to some extent, but I don't think he's going to get people to go on the stand and lie because he's Johnny Depp. Like, that doesn't happen. Yeah, he probably gets free things, and, like, he can pull strings and get people in movie, like he got her the Aquaman role, but I can't imagine he could make people tell things in front of a jury under oath. I just don't believe that. I don't believe how she's saying he's like threatened to ruin her life and she'll never work again. She'll never work again because she's a shit actress. If she can't act good on Buddy Stand, I'd hate to watch any of her movies, and I did watch Rum Diaries. I can't remember anything about her acting, which speaks volumes. I can remember his acting. All I remember was she used to be a stunning woman. Not saying she's ugly now, but she used to be extremely attractive. But maybe it's her poisonous personality that's changed everything. I don't know, but that's the only ever film I've ever seen her in. And he got her Aquaman. Not even seen that. But, you know, if her acting on stand is anything to go by, no wonder she's not a big movie star. And it's not because of Johnny Depp or the strings that he can apparently pull. Because if she was that good and she wasn't this liar, then she would be in loads of movies. She's just after making money in whatever way she can, and she's doing whatever she can to try and get this money. I mean, asking for 100 million, that's more she'll ever make in her life. And I hope she don't get a penny, because she don't deserve a penny. She's affected him, affected his life, and lied about everyone. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. I mean, I might do a part 3, I might not, but as you can tell, I'm 100% Johnny Depp's team. And it's not because he's Johnny Depp, like I said. Anyone who knows me knows that titles, status, doesn't impress me. That we're all the same people. I don't like people who, like, have a job title and think they're entitled and they think they're amazing and you have to bow down and worship them. Can't be bothered with that. I think we all know what my thoughts and feelings are with people who have titles, like a higher ranking things, and then they try and, like, think, oh, look at me, I'm amazing. No, you're not amazing. You're just the same as everyone else. But anyway, my personal opinion, my thoughts. Take with that whatever you want. And on that note, that is it. If there's not a part 3, I think you pretty much know what my thoughts and feelings are. Amber is a psychopath, a sociopath, a liar, manipulator, and I've come across people like that in my life. And that's why I can see it in her, because unfortunately there's people who like attention and like to harm people and get people involved and lie, and they're good at lying. God, trust me, I know someone who's the biggest liar on the planet, and they're so convincing that even if, like, I didn't know the truth, I'd 100% believe it. So, but Amber Heard, because I know that type of person and I've come across them, I can see it a mile off, and I just hope the jury can see it, because if she wins, bloody hell, God, do you know what I mean? Like, if she wins, like, I'll just feel like I completely lost my mind, because how can she win? She's a psychopath and a liar. She's an abuser. She abused him, and he's been brave to stand up and say it, because, you know, movie stars are very private. I mean, he was very private. Like, he was, like, super private about his private life, and he's had to go on the stand, and he's looked like a div at times with some of the things they've brought up that he actually has said and done. So I don't think, if it was true, that he would put himself through that, because why would he? But anyway, if you got to the end of this, well done. I've gone on longer than I should have done, and I've got stuff to do, but I hope everyone's having a good start to the week so far. This should be going up Tuesday morning. If it don't go up Tuesday morning, then I don't know why it hasn't, but it should go up, because I'm not going to keep filming a part 2. Like, I just can't be bothered with it. I just don't have the time for it. But I wanted to say my opinion. I'll be interested to see what the result is. I don't think they're going to come back today as you're seeing it with a result. I think they need to go over everything, look at all the evidence, and then decide. Because I think if they don't look at the evidence and they just go in and go whatever, I think that would be wrong. So I don't expect them back until Wednesday, maybe Thursday. They come back by then, I think it's going to look good for Johnny. I think if they take longer to deliberate, I think she will then have a chance to win it, unfortunately. So let me know what your opinions are and whose team you are. And if you're Team Amber, then I've got nothing else to say. Have a good week.